You know him from movies like Big Daddy, The Waterboy, Deuce Bigalow, and of course, 7 years on NBC's Saturday Night Live. Rob Schneider, he's got a new book. It's out today called You Can Do It. Speak Your Mind, America. Rob Schneider now on the Scott Sands Show.
Hey, Scott. How are you, brother?
Great to have you on, Rob. Congrats on the book out today.
Yeah, thank you.
And
unbelievable.
You're going to be in Toledo in a few weeks as well on November 9th at the Stranahan Theater.
Oh, that's going to be fun. I haven't been there in years. So, wow. Let's do it.
Somebody had told me
about the book. It's about free speech and people speaking their mind, and I can't wait to be there. It'll be right after the election, so it'll be nice to see Donald Trump as president again.
Right, and I think we're going to need to laugh a week after the election, I think, and get it all out of our system.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait for this to be over.
Well, and I can't wait to read your book, too. You Can Do It, Speak Your Mind, America. I've always said that comedians are like the canary in the coal mine when it comes to free speech in the U.S.
Oh, well, thank you for that, because I really feel like during COVID, all the academics got silenced and were afraid to lose, to be fired or protested against if they had tenure at university. Doctors were afraid to lose their licenses. Scientists were afraid they were going to lose their grant research. And actors were afraid that they were going to get, canceled. And so you had comedians. That was about it. And so, we kind of got canceled, but I wanted to just keep speaking my mind. And that's what the book is about. How, what really made this country so unique is our ability to speak our mind. Free speech. That is 108 billion people have been alive in the history of the world. And very few of them, Scott, have had the luxury of being able to have unfettered free speech.
Well,
not speech. Not speech, free from consequences, but speech that they were allowed to say to critique their government or what they say, and so that the government wouldn't, cut their heads off like they did in France. That's unique, and that's under pressure now. The Cato Institute 2 years ago came out with a study that said Americans, two-thirds of Americans no longer feel that they can speak freely out of fear of causing offense, and one-third are afraid of speaking their mind because out of fear of losing a job opportunity if they say whatever political affiliation they are.
Well,
that's not part of America that I grew up with.
That's true in the workplace for ordinary Americans, but it's especially true for entertainers, where it's so easy to say something that somebody finds offensive and get canceled, lose a role, get kicked off of social media. I mean, it seems in many ways like America has lost its sense of humor.
Well, I definitely think language is under attack and freedom of speech is under attack. I mean, the fact that we have 95% to up to 98% of liberals who are college professors, and they're not teaching people how to think critically. I tell everybody, get your kids out of university now. Now is not the time, because they're not teaching them how to think critically, how to think for themselves. They're teaching them how to be advocates for an illiberal ideology that is partisan. And who the hell wants to spend money on that? Take them out, buy a speedboat, Go take them on vacation, but don't waste your hard-earned money on a university that's just indoctrinating your children. I ain't doing that. And so this book is a buttress to get people to say enough, and to get people to start speaking their mind, and to stand up, because we just can't have the biggest whiners, the ones running society. I'm sorry, the ones who are most sensitive can't be the ones deciding what everybody else gets to listen and watch. And that's what my book's about. So it's got a lot of jokes in it, too.
And we can disagree about stuff, but I think we need to be able to have civil conversations as well. Rob Schneider here on the Scott Sands Show. You Can Do It, Speak Your Mind, America. What's the running gag behind the catchphrase, You Can Do It?
It's just Adam Sandler's way of having people come and yell at me for 30 years now, wherever I go. It's just a practical joke. It's still going. You ever have somebody do a practical joke that lasts for 30 years? That's Adam Sandler. But, it's what I'm known for, so I wanted to use that to get people's attention to potentially buy this book on free speech. So I'm being manipulative to try to get people. I mean, there's a lot of funny stories in there as well, and I do it in a comedic way, but I really want people to come back to where we were not that long ago. I mean, Scott, we were like, before when you had a disagreement, whether it was politically or whether it was something in society, you disagreed. You talked, and maybe people adjusted their foundational thinking or their opinions. And now, if you have a difference of opinion, you're a bad person. So they're ruining the language, and they're shouting people down instead of having dialogue.
Right.
And it's up to us to say enough. And there are bad actors. We have a great society, a free society, and it's not perfect. It's never meant to be perfect. It's meant to be a better union. But you have bad actors out there that are manipulating this. They're, people. When anybody says it's just an automatically white, oppressive, systemically racist society, I go, well, that's a grifter. That's a liar. This person. I'm sorry. This person's not telling the truth. Unfortunately, it started under the Obama administration. I think things were better. Americans, by and large, elected a black president 2 times. I think things have improved, and unfortunately, from that era, the people were trying to convince us it's never been worse. And I got to say, that's just not factually true. Americans are good people. We make adjustments, but this one is particularly egregious because you have the government now. You have the Biden-Harris administration working with tech companies to silence Americans who disagree with them. And that can't happen. But that's a definite First Amendment violation. And unfortunately, you have a Justice Department that's completely, captured by the liberal ideology, and they're not going to follow through on any of these, whether it's the COVID tyranny lies from Dr. Fauci or whether it's the corrupt Biden-Harris administration censoring Americans, silencing them, which is illegal. And so that's why it's important to kick this administration out, get a new one in, and I just ask your listeners, basically, for those who are on the fence, do you love your country more than you hate Donald Trump? Well, then, vote for him. Take a chance, because going down the same road, literally yesterday, the Biden-Harris administration is sending troops to the Middle East. Is that what we want? No, we don't want that. They literally last month agreed to that Ukraine can send missiles deep into Russia. Is that what we want? Do we want to push Russia has more. They have the GDP of Texas, but they have more nuclear weapons than anybody else. Is that what we want? I don't think so.
Rob,
I think Americans want to be able to go to work. They want to be able to make their money. They want to be able to send their kids to school where the kids can learn to think critically. And they said enough of this crap. And so if you care about your country, and if you care about preventing World War III, these forever wars, then to get a vote these liberals out.
I got to tell you, you're winning over a lot of fans who may not have known your point of view here on the Scott Central. We're talking to Rob Schneider. His book, You Can Do It, Speak Your Mind, America, is out now. I know we're almost out of time, but I'd love to hear, after, 6-7 years on Saturday Night Live, which obviously has political bias these days, would you ever be welcome back? Do you think you could ever do a show like that again?
They're correcting, society. Look, any institution, and Saturday Night Live's an institution, is susceptible to corruption, ideological corruption, and they were. And like any place. So, I don't think that's a special, where they're immune to it. But I think they've made corrections. And I think they're in a good place. They have a very good cast, and I hope that they will continue to mock, and ridicule what needs to be ridiculed. And I think for a while, yes, they weren't doing that, but it's understandable. A lot of comedians got scared. All the late-night hosts were, basically cowardly during COVID. And it's a shame because, those are the times you need people to stand up. But they were afraid. They were afraid of losing their jobs, and so they just became government mouthpieces, and it was embarrassing. It's embarrassing to watch somebody who was a brilliant comedian like Stephen Colbert and seeing these dancing syringes. To me, that's something out of the Soviet Union. That was something out of, the Khmer Rouge. It was beyond cringe. It was servile and beneath somebody who's in a position of cultural significance, whatever that means. I'd love to go back. I have nothing but respect for that institution of Saturday Night Live, and I want them to continue to do great things. And I think they have a great cast now, and I wish them all the best.
You Can Do It, Speak Your Mind, America. Rob Schneider, his new book is out now. Rob Schneider also appearing at the Stranahan Theater on November 9th. Limited seats available for that show. And I want to talk to you before that.
In America.
Look, I hope to have you on before that show.
Let's do that. Reach out and we'll do it. I'd love it.
Following you on X, on Twitter, at Rob Schneider. We're going to have a cigar after your show that night.
All right, buddy. Let's do it.